Greetings, magical souls. I hope everybody is doing well, and I hope that you all had a beautiful solstice and full moon. I wanted to come on today because I was called to share and asked to share my experience that I recently had. And I know that some of the people on this channel also follow Sarah Ariana's channel, and that every month she does a full moon transmission, which I do with her. And to anybody that has done that, who knows what was experienced there, the way that this unfolded for me this time around was magical. So just to quickly share that normally when I do these, I do them when they're recorded, and I'll often do them. I'll sort of have an early night. I'll go in and I'll be lying down in a dark room, and that's when I will do the transmission. However, the last time I did the transmission, I did something spectacular happened last month as well, and that was the end of May. And I should have known something big was coming, but most of you know by now that I've always been very connected to the dragons ever since I was little. And I've collected them my whole life. I've got bookshelves full of books on them. I've always believed they were real. Yeah, so for me, the dragons have just always been a part of my life. And what's interesting is that the last transmission, as I say, the end of May, I was in a darkened room, and after I was just listening to the Q&A and what have you, and I had my eyes open and I was looking around the room. Now, some of you have heard me talk about when I'm in meditation, I see these orbs. I've got three orbs that are always there. Sometimes there are more, but there's always a purple one, a turquoise one, and a green one. And for many, many, many years, I thought that these orbs were angels, until the one day I was in meditation and they came in, and they, instead of just being these orbs of energy, they almost solidified, if I can put it that way. They solidified into shapes that I could see, and I realized that I'd always thought that they were angels, and they were actually dragons, because all of them, I could see their heads, their tails, their wings, and I was quite awed. So now I know when those three little orbs are around, I know that they are my dragons, and they're often in my meditations. But what was really interesting about last month's live transmission at the end of May is that as I was sitting in the darkened room with my eyes open, I mean, there's a little bit of light coming in through the doors and the curtains and that kind of thing, but I could see the orbs in the bedroom with my eyes open. And I mean, that's quite a thing. I could see the orbs with my eyes open. Now, whether that's some kind of, third eye, being able to see with my eyes open, but it was really, really quite astounding. And the other interesting thing that happened in that one was that I often talk about also how I get some of my meditations, I get lots of symbols in them, and the symbols almost, they come at me like a golden dust, and then they almost swim into shapes, and then it dissolves and another symbol forms, and it dissolves and another symbol forms, and I almost feel like I'm in this golden glitter ball that keeps forming these symbols. But what happened last month was that I got this beautiful, all the golden dust formed this beautiful, huge whale above me. And then it dispersed and it formed this beautiful unicorn head that was absolutely massive, this golden dust unicorn head. And I've never had the unicorns come in that strongly either. But as I say, the thing was the dragons, because my eyes were open and I could see them like flying around in the bedroom. So, yeah, interesting times. But now, so coming back to this one 2 days ago, I came into my cabin, which is where I work from, and I was going to do a session for an animal that I had wanted to connect with. And I was suddenly called to, no, you need to do the transmission now in the cabin. You're not going to work, because I planned to do it last night. So yesterday afternoon, I'm in the cabin. I go, okay, whatever. Oh, I really need to do the animal session. No, you can do the animal session another time. Not important. This needs to happen now. So I go, okay. Now, obviously, in my cabin, I have all my cards and a lot of my crystals. I mean, I've got a couple next to my bed, but nothing like I've got in my cabin. And recently, well, actually at the end of May, I was drawn to a crystal in a crystal shop. And it's this little guy here. It's almost like a smoky quartz, but it's got like mica in it, which almost looks like gold foil. But I only noticed when I brought it home that all that mica inside here, they are dragons. All the little bits of mica form dragons. And I mean, there's several in here. I mean, any given time, it doesn't matter which way I look at this, there's some that are swooping in, there's a couple that are together and flying, one that's almost coming out, one that's coming in from the side. It's really quite a spectacular little crystal. But I didn't realize in the shop what it was until I got home and I picked it up and I thought, oh my word, there are dragons in this crystal. And I mean, it's just really, anyway. So obviously I've got no idea what's going to happen in this transmission, but I pick up that particular crystal and I'm holding it to my chest and it feels cool on my skin where I'm holding it to my chest and even on my hand. But when I change hands and when I pick it up again, the inside of the crystal is like burning, burning hot. So as I say, I'm holding this crystal. Now, normally what else happens is that I, go through the transmission, come out the other side, takes me a while to come back and get my bearings. But during the transmission, when we were doing what we were doing in around Earth, etc., and what was happening, I was nudged to open my eyes and grab my 3 dragon decks, which are always within reach. And there was a strong sense of there are messages that need to come through. There are messages that need to come through, and we're choosing the cards to do this now. So I was like, okay. So then I closed my eyes. I opened all the packs. I put them in front of me. I closed my eyes. I shuffled. I heard a couple pop out. I left them and then just put them away. And imagine my surprise when there was then called to open my eyes before we'd almost finished the transmission and to look at the messages. So it was really quite profound. I wasn't sort of, out of my, feeling like I was out of my body like I sometimes am. I was very, very present, very, very aware of the urgency of these messages, very, very aware of what was going on. As I say, the transmission was still happening. And here I was, it was like, you need to read the cards now. So first thing that was very interesting was that there were 8 cards. So out of 3 decks, there were 8 cards, and we're in 2024, which is an 8th year. Now, as I said, I was shuffling with my eyes closed. I didn't see how many fell out. Afterwards, there were 8 cards. And I just need to share these messages because they were so profound in terms of if anybody did that with Sarah, these messages are mind-blowing from the dragons. And interesting enough, what dropped in for me the early hours of this morning, so that was after the transmission, is there seems to be very much an increased presence of dragon energy at the moment. There's more and more people talking about them. And what really came in for me early hours of this morning at around 4 was that the dragons were the friends of the humans many, many, many eons ago. And if you listen to the Stellar Nations that Leslie is doing on her channel, I'll put the link below, but she's talking about sort of our cosmic history and the things that happened and all the stellar nations and that kind of thing. And there were the dragons and the felines and the unicorns and the bears, and there's a whole load of them. But understanding that cosmic history is quite interesting. But I listened to her one about the dragons a couple of months ago. And the dragons, so first of all, the dragons were friends of humans. And what happened with the humans is that we had a fall in consciousness, where we went into the darkness. But the same thing happened with the dragons. And you might say, well, they're part and parcel of the same thing, because if it's in our cosmic history, you know, everything's one. And I get it can be quite sort of intertwined. But what was really impressed upon me this morning is that the dragons succumb to the power and the control and the sort of the darkness, if you will, as did the humans. And that's another thing that almost bonds us together. We both understand what the darkness is. We've both gone into it. We've experienced it. So there is a real kinship between the dragons and the humans. You know, the unicorns left the plane. They didn't want to stay here. And some of the dragons actually remained here even when a lot of them left. Some of them chose to remain until the humans awoke, and they went to sleep in the mountains and the caves and the oceans and the riverbeds and all these things. And you know, I even look at the Komodo dragon and the bearded dragon. There's two little creatures on this planet that retain the dragon name. So it's an interesting dynamic, and particularly because, you know, we used to be friends. They were the protectors of humanity, and things started to go wrong. And, you know, there's all sorts of paintings and things depicted in history of us slaying dragons, and there being great wars. And, you know, and you have to wonder how these things happened. But it's almost like we've been to the depths of, and now we are coming round and returning to the light and transmuting the darkness. But it's really important I think it's been a fascinating journey, because you can't really know the light without the darkness. You can't really know the lightness of the light without going into the depths of the darkness. And I think if you haven't been there, it's always like a wonder. And, you know, it's very interesting. Anyway, that's what dropped in this morning. Sorry, I'm rambling, but just that the dragons and the humans were always connected, but now we've almost had the same experience, if you will, in that fall of consciousness and wanting to explore the darkness, if you will. So who better than the dragons to help us transmute all this? I mean, they have these fires that can transmute, and I believe that some of the ascended masters were dragons. Some of us were dragons. I've been told that I was a dragon once before, and then I was a dragon rider, and then I worked with the dragons. And so I think we've all had this cosmic galactic history somewhere. And I obviously came in here with that still intact, even though I didn't remember anything else. But for me, the dragons have always been there. That energy's always been there. I've never seen them as the scary, horrible creatures that they've been depicted as in movies and that kind of thing. To me, I always felt safe with them. I always felt awed by them, you know. Yeah, so anyway, on to sharing the messages. So as I say, anybody that did Sarah's transmission will find these messages incredibly potent. And yeah, I'm going to share them. So I will show the cards as well. As I said, this is how the messages came through for me. So the first one we've got is the orange gold dragon from Arcturus. And the message here is that it opens you to knowledge for the new golden age. And we carry the energy of the future, and we need to be a guiding light. So very, very interesting. Again, this is from another like star system, another race, Arcturians. I just find this very, very interesting in light of what we're doing right now, what we're transmuting, that we all feel like we're on the brink of this new age and this transformation. So, and I'm just going to read a couple of things I'm not going to read everything, but the dragons here, they come in when we are ready to become a walking master and help usher in a new golden age. When a spiritual army of these dragons moves to a place, they stimulate great evolutionary change in all that they touch. They are flowing into Earth now to help us during the exciting years ahead. And this card is really all about standing in our power and fulfilling our destiny. So they will give us the wisdom and the knowledge and the strength for the transformation ahead. We have much to do, many people to help, and these dragons will stay by our side as long as we need it. we are to be the guiding beacons to light the way for many. Now that's, I mean, that's just an incredible message for just for humanity at the moment. And then the next one was the Emerald Dragon. The Emerald Dragon brings in healing and cosmic abundance. Good fortune is coming. We're aligning with your fifth dimensional blueprint, and let your thoughts support your divine perfection. And these guys really just clear our emotional bodies to leave us free to love, to forgive, to have open hearts. I mean, it's all the stuff that we need to go where we are heading. And it just really opens us to the magic of all things. And it's the cosmic abundance. You know, a lot of us have been struggling. There have been times of struggle. A lot of us, our whole lives here, obviously being in this controlled matrix and that kind of thing, where things haven't been organic and we've known there have been forces at play. It really speaks to just the healing and also this cosmic abundance that is coming in, that so many of us really, really need, because it hasn't been an easy life for a lot of us, and a lot of us have gone without, been homeless. Our basic needs and rights have not been met, and it feels like that really is about to change, which is such a beautiful message. And then the other one from this pack was the air and water dragons. And these guys help us to connect to high frequencies, to trust our intuition, develop psychic abilities, to be open to enlightenment, and express our inner song. And what I found so awesome about this is that the sense of happiness and hope that light up, they want us to connect with our inner song and to start to express it. And isn't that all about the authentic path we've been on, living more in joy and in hope and in freedom and all that kind of thing? Things have gotten really, really serious the past couple of years, and it's very hard to not get bogged down by everything that's going on in our 3D realm. And for me, this was just helping us to connect with these high frequencies. And we all know, a lot of people are speaking about now the veils are thinning, our psychic abilities are coming online, we're developing our intuition, all of those kinds of things. And it just, there's a flow to this. And they also enable us to connect with Neptune, I believe, if I remember correctly, to open up to more enlightenment and that kind of thing. So, you know, and the last thing is here, they will attune you so that your voice expresses the true notes of your soul. And I just think, wow, I mean, these messages are just profound in light of the transmission that happened yesterday. The next beautiful one is the peace dragon came through. And really, isn't that what we're all looking for? We just want peace, and we just want to live in peace and harmony and love. And a lot of us have just had enough of the heaviness, the darkness. This is such a beautiful dragon. And her message, I get a very feminine energy from this dragon, but her messages allow me to pull together your scattered energies. And it ties in very much with the next dragon. And that's why I find the fact that these two that came out are very interesting. And this dragon is all about encouraging us to be kind to ourselves. And we really need to remember who we are. And her whole thing about allowing her to pull in the scattered energy so we can feel a sense of peace into our soul. Let my presence help release any negative feelings, for you are truly a creator and are immensely powerful. Now, she says that by allowing more peace to enter into our lives, we enable our very beings to carry more light. And what are we trying to do? That's exactly what's happening with our bodies at the moment. Our bodies are being upgraded to carry more light. But in doing that, we also become beacons for others to follow, which ties into that first message from the other dragon pack that I just read, where we are going to be the guiding lights and the beacons. You know, there's so much in these cards that the cards are very much connected, even though they're from very different packs. And the whole thing around this peace thing is that we also need to relinquish control. And when we relinquish our need for control, we feel lighter, brighter, and more connected to the universe. What a beautiful message. So just going back to her pulling in all our scattered energies, The other one that came through from this deck is the Soul Guardian. I absolutely love this card. This dragon is your soul guardian and your very own dragon counterpart. These guys carry all our past experiences from every life, every incarnation. To me, this is almost like an Akashic dragon. So it holds all the records of everything that we've ever done. And what he actually says is he's the guardian of every incarnation, the good, the bad, and the ugly. And he says, I'm the keeper of all memories. As you pass through each lifetime, your human body and mind have a need to protect themselves when you experience pain or trauma. A small piece of your soul then also retreats to protect itself. I am the guardian of your soul, the expression of the whole and complete you. And he has arrived to tell us that the time has come to begin to piece back your soul together, to recall all the missing parts, so that we can complete the amazing picture and reveal ourselves in all our magnificence as a living being. He says to us, you are a spiritual warrior, but you must listen to your inner guidance, and I will always be beside you. But she's calling back all the parts, and he's telling us that we are putting back all the parts. I mean, these two cards are very much connected. Fascinating. As I say, in terms of the transmission yesterday, these messages are just absolutely profound. And then the last three that I got were from the beautiful Star Dragon. Okay, the first one is around healing. So healing is almost the, they call it the herald part, which is almost the I guess the human part or the elemental part or whatever. And then the second part of this card is restoring hope, which is the message from the dragon. So we have the herald messages and the dragon messages. And this really is, even in the darkest night, the stars light up the sky to lead the way. Hold on to that vision and press forward. Healing will come in time, even when things seem the bleakest. Tend to your wounds, learn your lessons, actively take steps to heal and rebuild, restore, refresh, rejuvenate. But the message here is, even when it is dark, there is still a light that still shines. And this is about healing and restoring hope. And I love the being underneath this beautiful dragon is almost like a little, she reminds me of a little water fairy. It really is such a beautiful card. But healing and restoring hope, what beautiful messages for us right now when we all are feeling quite hammered from this journey. I know a lot of us have experienced a dark night of the soul lately and just wondering when it's going to end and how much longer. And we really have been tested of late. And I think it's such a beautiful card. The next one is bliss, which is the herald's message. And the dragon is cherishing the day. So it really is cherish in the word, every moment, every breath. It's more than gratitude or joy. It is a love and thirst for life and drink deeply. Laugh, a good belly laugh, said the dragons. Laugh as you splash forth and rise up, making all the waves you want. It's time for celebration. Find your bliss, your zen, your joy, your happiness. And when you do, throw your head back in laughter. Victory is yours. We were just talking about all the joy the other day. Really, the last few months feel like all the joy has been sucked out of everything, and this is such a beautiful message. And the message is really just, even when times seem like it's not really called for, there's always time to relish, dance, feast upon the grand celebration that is life. May your laughter and jubilance rise up to the stars and beyond. So this is really, you know, when we're in joy, we're in a high vibration. That is infectious. Just like when somebody's down, you can feel, any empath can feel when they walk into a room when there's a lot of negative energy, that everything just feels all heavy. When you walk into a place where there's joy and laughter, and everything is uplifted to that. And I think that's a really important message, is that we just have to find that joy. It really is such a beautiful message. And I mean, it's a beautiful, almost a water dragon coming out the sea, and there's like a mermaid type creature grabbing onto its tail, and they just look like they're just frolicking and having an absolute whale of a time. Very important message at this time. And just going back to Sarah's transmission, is there was a lot of joy and fun in it. And that's why this card struck me. Like, there's so much back, so many deeper messages of what was going on in Sarah's transmission. And I now understand why I was being nagged to almost exit from the transmission and pull the cards, because as I say, I pulled them while Sarah was still busy with the transmission. And the last one I absolutely love. This dragon. This is all about effort on the human's part, and the dragon is conquering the demons. And look how he is standing there with that beautiful, like, fiery sword in his mouth, and that warrior, that spiritual warrior, is on his back. And wow, there is just such power here. And the wisdom of the herald in here is, they thought they had you cornered. They were wrong. They said you had it coming, also wrong. Each one of your adversaries fell by your own hand as you rose up and wielded a mighty sword. Go forth in battle and lay waste to those who would keep you from your purpose. Demons, be damned. Take action, right all wrongs, and find your power. How awesome is this message for us all rising at the moment into more of that warrior energy? The dragons are very much about warrior energy, but peaceful energy, not fighting against, but fighting for the right causes. That's what they've always felt like to me. Nothing to be feared, but just that they have such a powerful warrior energy. The message from the dragon here is, when the going gets tough, shoot a fireball and watch it all burn. It's time to work hard and play harder. All the energy you invest in your endeavors will be returned to you. Get going, make the effort, and you'll be victorious. Power up. If you want something, if you want to break free, now is the time to start your climb. As you defeat all opponents and overcome obstacles, stay focused and keep working hard, putting in the right effort. And really, this is how I feel right now. I want to get on the back of my dragon, and I just want to go, okay, enough now. I am here to transform and make a difference on this planet. And the woe and all of that, all this dark stuff that has been keeping us down, really, these are such inspiring messages of hope and the support from the dragons. The dragons are really, really trying to support us. And then the last little thing that came in, and I actually journaled about it, was the inspiration. And the inspiration really is to just to find the inspiration in every moment. In every moment, there's creativity. For us not to forget that we are the creators. We are the creators of the organic earth, or bringing back the organic template, or new earth, whatever you want to call it. There's always inspiration around you. I always talk about magic. There's always magic around you, but as Roald Dahl says, if you don't believe in magic, you'll never find it. So look for the inspiration, find the things that bring you joy. It's all around us all the time. It just is. There's an abundance of creativity. And just going back to, the cosmic abundance in the other card, it doesn't necessarily have to be financial all the time, but it's just really I just think that these messages are so powerful. As I say, anybody who did the transmission will realize how pertinent these messages are. But even if you didn't, these messages really feel like they need to be shared. They're all of hope, joy, stepping into the golden age, higher frequencies, that our efforts are paying off, that there is bliss, there is healing, restoring hope. We've got guardians of our soul. We've got peace. We're putting back together the bits of our souls, reaching higher frequencies, cosmic abundance, healing, knowledge for the golden age. I mean, wow, it just so powerful. I had a couple of things come in early hours again of this morning, and I think that I'm going to be called to work more with the dragons as I go. I don't know exactly what that looks like, but there seems to be really something that's unfolding. I think it's going to be connected to animals. It's going to be connected to some of the healing sessions that I want to do around the planet, where we go into places and heal things. The dragons are really, really key for anybody that feels like they're a grid work on this planet. The dragons are really key in healing the energy lines of the earth as well. And there's just so much that they can help us with. So yeah, I do hope those messages have inspired anybody that's feeling down, that's been trudging through what feels like black treacle the past couple of weeks and months. It really has felt quite dark, but it does feel like there is a new energy coming in. And yeah, I hope that this gives you hope and the energy to press on and know that your dragons are with you. They are around us all the time. They want to help, as I say. They've also experienced the darkness just like we have. Who better to help us to transmute it than them, because they understand it. So sending everybody much love, wishing you all a magical day. Thank you so much for watching, and I'm sure I will be back soon.